All right. Well, did you write down our intro this time, or did you?
No, I didn't.
Did not.
Did I?
I feel like we could.
We should write it down.
We could write it down right now and then just reread it.
No, we'll do it for
All
the
right,
next
let's
one. Let's
crush
do
it.
it. Because today, well, first off, welcome to the Moose Lounge.
Welcome everyone.
Welcome to the Moose Lounge. Today we're gonna have some smooth rhymes
And some good times.
here at the Moose Lounge.
Nice.
We're doing things a little different today. Instead of a topic, we're gonna be doing a new segment called The Good News, where we cover the good news.
I was gonna say good news. I would
A lot
imagine.
of bad news out there.
There is a lot of bad.
There needs someone every once in a while. Someone's got to come in and be like, "Well, here's the good stuff going on."
All right.
It's not all good stuff,
No.
but it's
We can
more
find good
interesting
things.
stuff. More interesting stuff you won't hear from the mainstream media and all of them. Did you pull up any weird articles?
I pulled up a couple, but you didn't really tell me this was supposed to be offbeat. So mine are somewhat maybe mainstream a little bit.
That's
but,
fine. We'll get a little bit of both.
And one of them is not really good news. It's kind of bad news.
Let's
But we
some
can
of
make some
mine are
good
not
out of
really
it.
good
I
news.
think we could make some good out of it.
yeah, I think we can.
I
too.
have actually already a great idea on how we can make some good out of that.
Well,
one.
I've got for the first one here. So in Hong Kong, they were happiness is a big concern over there, and traditionally they. So the title of this news article is "Two Giant Rubber Ducks Debut in Hong Kong in Bid to Drive Double Happiness." You see, every year in Hong Kong, they have a parade, or so like a sort of a river thing where they blow up a giant rubber ducky and run it down the river.
I've seen that.
Yeah, well, they were concerned that their country was not happy enough, or their city. Is Hong Kong a country or a city? It's a country.
Hong Kong's a country.
I think so.
I'll
Oh,
double
God,
check.
that's
before we
bad.
get,
But yeah, and so the mayor was very concerned that happiness was not up enough this year, and so obviously he took the correct approach of adding a second rubber duck to the parade.
that was the key to happiness.
That was the key. It's a bid to drive double happiness. See, they figure if the city has some amount of happiness with one rubber duck, it will obviously be doubled when there are two rubber ducks in this annual parade.
I mean, that kind of makes sense.
It's not the worst idea
No.
I've ever heard.
Did it work?
Well, results are still out. This was only a month or two ago. You know, and it takes a while for rubber ducky effects
for sure.
to fully kick in.
I mean, when I see a giant rubber ducky, I'm feeling good in the moment, but the real happiness doesn't set in until I get home, really ponder on the double duckies, and then, a week
double
later, I'm like,
duckies, dude.
feeling real happy. Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, that's like how
Double
frat boy would talk about titties.
duckies.
She's got those double duckies, bro.
Or when you're packing a fat lip, I put in the upper ducky and the bottom
and
ducky.
lower
The double
ducky.
duckies.
Yeah, Hoffman said his pair of ducks represent twice the fun, double the happiness, and bring new excitement to Hong Kong. This is all according to Routers.
Whom's?
Yeah.
Hong
Rat
Kong,
to
by the way, is
Routers.
not a country.
What?
It's a special administrative region of China.
Oh, is it?
Oh, it is.
Oh, okay. It was at some point.
It
I
was
think.
a country? I don't know.
I think
about
it was
that.
like taken
I feel
away
like
from
this would've
China, and then
mentioned
China took it back again. It's like it was Taiwan before Taiwan was Taiwan.
it. Ooh.
'Cause it used to be a British territory. My aunt lived there
In
as
Hong
an
Kong, it
English
used to be
citizen.
British territory? That seems
And dude,
wrong.
my cousin, who's this white, pale English kid, lived there for a few years and speaks fluent Mandarin. Speaks fluent Mandarin. Like it's just so funny hearing a dude that looks like me talk so fluently in that, it's almost like you shouldn't be allowed to do this. You don't look.
You know that guy on TikTok? Zizhan, I'm butchering it, I'm sure, but
Is it the dude with the Chinese accent?
he's white and he's from New York, but he picks up languages like exceptionally well.
Oh.
He's like amazing. He'll like learn a language in a couple of weeks conversationally, and his whole shtick is that he goes to like markets and cultural places that have random like Nigerian language, whatever, and he'll speak the language to those people, and they're immediately like, what the fuck? Because he looks like us,
Yeah.
he's just a white dude, and he speaks Chinese the best, like, and he'll really blow people away. And it's honestly really fun because people always, I love watching the videos because they appreciate it so much. They're always giving him free shit, and he's like, no, I pay, but he's like, it's so cool probably to them, especially like when he does a really crazy small language. Like,
Yeah.
they love it, and
Yeah,
I wish I
he's
could
like-
do that.
It's not one of those languages.
That's fucked up.
That's a language. There's the clickety-clack language.
I made a joke like that when I was younger in like school, and the teacher did not appreciate it. And looking back, she was definitely right to not appreciate it.
But there are languages that sound like that. Like, what is it? Not Swahili.
That's the joke I made when I was in middle school. I was like, I speak some Swahili, and I did that. And she was like, no, the class liked it, but
that's what matters, dude. You got to play to the audience.
I do think there's some clicking languages. I mean, languages in general are just crazy. Like
they are, dude. When I was in Taiwan,
some sound so hard to understand. Like how it's nuts. But
when I was in Taiwan, I wanted to learn just how to say thank you. I was like, I figured I can get by with like thank you and hello, whatever. It took me. I had to watch the YouTube video for the word thank you like 40 times to get it right.
Could you do it right now?
Yeah, it's 谢谢.
谢谢.
谢谢. It's
right,
not.
That doesn't seem that hard.
Okay, you say it, but the dude is so particular. He's like, it's not 谢谢. And it's not 谢谢. It's 谢谢. Like you listen to him and you're like, wait, which one was the right one again?
I feel like though, if someone was trying to say thank you in English and they said thank you or something like that, I'd be like, all right, no problem. Like,
yeah, but the difference is that in Mandarin, the difference, like that'd be like if thank you and thank you, or that'd be like if thank you and thanks meant two entirely different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just the accent can change it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like languages always are. There's just cool that like it's so much easier to learn it growing up than it is to like pick it up later, unless you kind of have one of those brains. Like,
yeah, it's interesting. You ever see the dude who was raised in China but is just a normal white dude and then learned English in an English as a second language class in China?
So is he bad at English?
He has the most racist sounding Chinese accent ever because he was born and raised there, but that's just him doing his best at English. And then you watch it and you're like, this racist son of a bitch is like, he's like, no, this is just the best I can do. And
it must be tough. I was thinking about, I saw a YouTube video where a guy was albino, and it was one of like a KSI video, and they were trying to figure out who wasn't black amongst a bunch of like guys wearing green screen suits. Mm-hmm. They had like 8 guys and they eliminated one by one, and they actually figured it out. And going through like the third person they eliminated, he pulled his mask off and he looked white. And they were all like, what? Like, no way. And he was kind of laughing, and they were like, are you albino? And they kept asking that. And he was like, no, I'm enjoying this. And they were like, they bleeped it out, but they were like, say the N-word. And he said it. And they were like, oh, you're Jeff. And he was like, I'm albino. But I mean, albino, I guess it's tough because you can tell when someone's albino most of the time, I would imagine.
Well, you're like exceedingly pale. For anyone, when you're albino.
Most of the time, but sometimes they could just look tan. I don't know many.
Really? I thought albino is no pigment whatsoever in your skin.
Yeah, but like, I mean, he didn't look like he had no pigment. I've seen definitely videos of people who they could pass as non-albino, more white, you know?
Pass as non-albino. That's so funny.
I don't know. Is albino a what is it?
It's like a genetic mutation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like being born without a finger.
And can it happen to white people?
Yeah.
So do they just not look as...
It's very different. Like, there's no pigment. You don't tan at all. Like this... Like, I have no pigment. I have vitiligo, so I have, like, no pigment on my left eyelid.
I remember that,
As I get tan, that just doesn't change.
Correct?
Yeah. Although it looks way crazier.
Did you hear, by the way, speaking of news, he died.
Oh, my God, dude. No, I'm not MJ.
King of Pop, dude.
This is supposed to be the good news, not the sad news from 10 years ago. This is...
Well, it is good news. I think he was a pedophile. That was some other news.
But, you know... That's the thing. You can only, and I know this has been done a million times, but like you can only know how good of a musician you are if you touch little kids. It's the only way to really get a good barometer.
What?
Because if people still play your songs, they're like, he was good. You know what I mean? You don't hear a lot of R. Kelly anymore.
He definitely got canceled harder than MJ.
Because his songs were good, not as good as Michael Jackson.
Well, it depends on the song, I think, because some R. Kelly songs you still hear at the club,
like the it's hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mm-hmm. But not as much, dude. I feel like before he got canceled, I heard that song
a jam
constantly.
And MJ comes on in the club, no one gives a shit.
I hear him all the time.
Yeah,
like I was listening to him on the way here. I was like,
to be fair, I do have a couple of R. Kelly songs on my iPhone still, but I did remove a few where I was just like, I don't like this enough. The other ones, I'm like, I still think about it when it comes up. I'm like, eh. But
then you just got to get rid of it. Cause do you want a song that reminds you of beating women?
No, you're right.
Or what was he in trouble for again?
Remove him.
No, Chris Brown beat.
He was marrying like underage women and fucking.
He's like peeing on kids, right?
Yeah, like he's crazy, and he's in jail. So it's definitely
rightfully so.
Yeah, he was fucking nuts. He married Aaliyah when she was like 15 or something, and they went on Oprah, I don't know, one of the shows, and they were like they weren't married, but they were like wearing matching outfits and like holding hands and shit, and they were like clearly implying that they were dating, and he's like 30 and she's like 16. It was weird.
Who is she?
Aaliyah was a very popular singer. She's on a couple of songs that you would definitely recognize, but then she died in like a private plane crash or something when she was like 18.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a big tragic loss in that time, like the 90s, I want to say. Hip-hop loss.
Aaliyah.
Yeah. R.I.P. Aaliyah. It's a Kanye song? I don't know.
Who knows about
next
Kanye?
news. Can I do one of mine?
Yeah, do one.
All right, cool. Where'd they go? They all deleted. I forgot I shot. All right, I remember one. Well, this one was kind of the bad news.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's something I saw a couple weeks ago where the Biden administration alcohol czar. Wow, that's a tongue twister. They're warning that guidance could only be 2 beers a week, and for a long time it had been like 5 or something. Since the 90s, the U.S. had recommended women limit themselves to 1 drink per day and men 2 drinks per day. But it's up for guidance in the 2025 review, and the new czar of alcohol, which is crazy that we have an alcohol czar.
We have any czars. It's crazy.
Is thinking
dated
of
just sounds
suggesting Russian. Only 2 beers a week instead.
So what happened? Like, what does this mean? So this is just like, what they would recommend you do?
Yeah,
or is
so like basically when you go to the doctor and you tell them what you drink, they're just going to scold you a lot harder now.
Like and just one dude is deciding this? What the doctors tell us?
I think it's like the general, there's like a hierarchy of doctors and shit, and there's obviously a hierarchy of alcohol kingdoms, and the czar kind of makes the final call on everything, and he makes his final recommendation. He's like the Anthony Fauci of alcohol at the time. Currently, like he
is, and he's setting these rules right now.
Exactly,
to just 2 beers. He sounds like a party pooper.
He's definitely just said a party pooper.
He's definitely just a lightweight and set it at his maximum.
Ooh, he did admit the social benefits of alcohol, describing it as a social lubricant.
Oh God, that sounds way too. I'm gonna
say that one again. Social lubricant.
That's a dude trying to get laid.
He's like, no. I think the chicks should still be getting drunk, but the guys just stay healthy.
I like my ladies lubricated and lubricated, if you know what I mean. Socially and physically.
Poverty is the nation's 4th leading cause of death, killing an estimated 183 Americans.
What is poverty, you said?
That's what this is talking about. Social and economic status. What is it? A Mediterranean diet. I love Mediterranean food. I've been eating. I have a bunch. That's what I'm going to have for dinner tonight, too, because we got leftovers from my mom's birthday.
Uh-huh. Wait, well, what does this have to do with anything?
I don't know. I'm reading this article kind of backwards now, but it says a Mediterranean diet, which is high in fats and protein, is touted as an overall healthy diet. So
I guess this sounds. He's advocating for specific diets. Does this dude also sell a book on the Mediterranean diet? Is this and how to only drink 2 beers a week? Greece. Is that his? He's just dropped those books. He's like, how 2 beers a week and the Mediterranean diet fixed my love life.
I mean, it's not even 2 beers. It says 2 drinks.
Yeah, so like a beer and a shot.
Honestly, what if you just make 2 gigantic drinks to last you throughout the week?
There you go. Yeah. Or I was thinking like you save up all your drinks, or like if you don't drink for a week, you get to do 2 extra the next week.
Oh.
And so then you save up for like a party at the end of the year where you drink 2 beers a week, 104 beers.
You go abstinent all year long. Yeah. New Year's Eve, you just go fucking crazy.
Ham. 104 drinks. To just go
I think
wild.
I'd prefer my method of just like making, like Sunday, you meal prep, you booze prep. You make your 2 giant drinks for the week.
Yeah. You just put them in like a backpack and just carry them around.
Or just a tub. You get a whole separate fridge just to like store it in.
That's what a depressing job that is. My job is
alcohols are. I think
to
this
say
is
what the government recommends people do drinking wise. Like,
should I put this guy up on the screen?
Yeah, put him up.
Jesus, I wish the screen was better, or I was better. Oh God, I just put it in another desktop. Now we're good. That's him.
Oh my God, dude! Wait, he looks like Jim Gordon from Batman.
He does look like an actor, right? Yeah.
He looks like he should be defending Gotham well, but not as well as Batman does it.
If there's health benefits, I think Batman can save us.
Yeah, it says if there's health benefits, I think people will start to reevaluate where we're at in the U.S. If alcohol consumption guidelines go in any direction, it would be toward Canada. That's not. I did not learn a lot reading that. What is Canada? Are we going to be
more Canadian?
Is like, do they drink more or less than us? I love the contempt. I love the contempt from the Fox News lady being like, this piece of shit, 2 drinks a week.
Biden is trying to take your guns and your booze.
Oh my God,
that's awesome, dude. She was appalled.
Rightfully so. She was like, we had a kegger planned for the annual Fox News kegger.
How am I going to get fucked up on 2 drinks?
Yeah.
Biden.
What are we going to do this year at Tucker's annual pool party? We're just going to have 1 beer because we already had one on Tuesday?
Tucker doesn't even get that racist till his 4th drink,
all
right?
Way to rob all the fun out
boring.
of Fox News by...
Damn, that's awesome. All right, we made some good news out of that.
Yeah, that's just funny. That's funny news. That's good.
That's good old fun news.
Here's something I thought was it was just a funny take because you've heard about the Gaza Strip, right?
The Gaza Strip, yeah. The strip that there's
lots of bombs involved. I don't really know the details. My understanding is that it's a war-torn hellscape along with Israel as they battle over whatever.
How is this going to turn into good news? Please.
Well. What a place like that needs is obviously a cat cafe to lighten the mood. And Good news from just a week or 2 ago, the Gaza Strip gets its first cat cafe, a cozy refuge from life under blockade.
That's lovely.
That is lovely.
What inspired the cat cafe? Were there
obviously all the cats? War and death that surrounds the nation. They were like, this is like the
some furry meow meows.
A less good attempt at the 2 rubber duckies. Like I feel like there needs to be a little more scale here. Like Gaza Strip gets 100 cat cafes. That might start to put a dent in things.
You think that's the equivalent to rubber duckies equal 100 cat cafes?
Well, like the second rubber ducky each rubber ducky is 100 cat cafes. That's so what I would say.
200 cat cafes.
Yeah, Hong Kong already had 100 cat cafes in terms of happiness levels. Well, the Gaza Strip had none due to its lack of rubber ducks.
I mean, I guess that's fair, but do they have a river to be floating these rubber duckies down conveniently? Or
no, that's why they've gone the cat cafe route. They do have cats. And
I think there's a lot of cats in foreign countries. Like
that's a very general statement. All of them?
I mean, most of Europe, I saw a lot of cats, and I just feel like most of the world, there's a lot of cats. You gotta say, I feel like we have dumb white women who are just going to adopt every cat.
They'll hoard all the cats. Yeah. And become crazy. There are
other countries, I feel like they don't do that shit.
We have just as many cats.
They can live outside. Yeah. They're fine.
We have just as many cats, but they're concentrated at all these random white ladies' houses.
I'll be fair, though. I do love a good cat lady. I have, honestly, a couple of cat ladies in my office. Pretty big fans of them. They're nice people.
It depends.
It depends, but like Pat is a cat lady. We love Pat.
Is she a cat lady?
Dude, come on. Pat's an animal lady. She loves cats.
Yeah, but I thought she would have, maybe some dogs.
She doesn't have any dogs right now because she just watches everyone else's dogs. This is our pet sitter. I don't even know how to describe Pat, like our babysitter growing up.
Former babysitter.
But, she had a lot of stages in our life.
Now she's like pal.
Now she's just the homie.
She really wanted to come to one of my comedy shows.
Dude, she was saying, definitely a bunch. Let me know. She would totally come in.
She's like, someone needs...
Pat's trying to fuck.
She was trying to lay down. Dude.
She was telling me she's getting on a dating site and everything. I'm like,
yes, Pat. Oh my God, dude.
She's hey, if there are any sexy 60-plus-year-old singles in the Stamford, Connecticut area... Yeah, how old's Pat?
Well, I would say 70 plus to be safe.
I think, honestly, you would be the happiest 70-year-old man to find Pat.
Yeah,
because
if you need someone
your belly's going to be full, and she's a good time.
If you need someone to cook for you, watch your dogs, and you live on a 1-story home, then Pat is the lady for you. 2 stories, she might not be able to see the whole
Pat's
house.
looking good now, too. She's getting fit.
Is she?
She's getting more fit.
I don't see her enough to like keep track. You know what I mean?
She's pretty healthy. She used to be less healthy. She's very healthy now.
Okay.
I'm very proud of Pat. I love her very
Pat.
much. You can't even speak the illest word of Pat.
I like Pat.
Even in the comedy sense, I'll come after you.
She was very, very nice
after
I bombed in front of everyone at your mom's
that was
birthday
awesome.
party.
Let's give a big shout out to Eddie Stone. My mother had a birthday party. We had like 40 of my family members, and we were presenting a video of like everyone saying "Love you, Ange," and there were some technical difficulties. So in like a 10-15 minute interim, young Edward stepped up in front of my entire extended family, which most of them you know them all at that point.
Most of them recognized him.
Everyone knew him. He's been around for a while, so they all knew who he was, and most of them actually quite enjoy you because you do have some lore in our family with the golf tournament and family vacations and such. But he stepped up and delivered. I don't want to say it was a brutal 10 minutes, but it was there were some. I wasn't looking at the crowd, but I heard some good laughs, but only from some people.
Yes.
And you have some jokes that I wouldn't say are even close to anti-Semitic, but they talk about people disliking Jews.
They joke about the swastika.
And I do have 2 Jewish cousins that I saw, or really a Jewish uncle and a cousin who did not enjoy that joke.
Ooh, I got the sign off from Phil though, your neighbor who's Jewish.
Phil's the homie too, so that's a good sign.
And Lizzie's Jewish too, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, Jewish neighborhoods.
Afterwards, these are another 2 people at the party.
Lizzie are also phenomenal.
Well, Lizzie came up to me and she's like, "You're an artist, and I know you got to push the boundaries and stuff, but I just want you to know that some Jewish people might find that joke offensive." And so I looked at Phil, and Phil's like, "No, I liked it. I thought that was fun. That was clever. It was good." And Lizzie's like, yes, but some people.
She probably saw my unpleased uncle, who it's
probably
It's probably a negative 10% chance to see this, but
whatever. You could see it on my next special.
It was a good joke. Yeah. When it's on Netflix, they'll laugh.
When it's on Netflix or whatever. But it was funny because I go up like.
I will say, bro, and I want to say this actually again. I was very, very proud of you. You kept going and like you did a really good job, despite. You were getting laughs with every joke. I heard some laughs.
Yeah, someone laughed.
My parents really enjoyed it. I heard my parents chuckling, and it's my mom's birthday. She loved it.
Your cousin John really liked it.
Yeah, it was good. That was probably John's laugh I was hearing most of the
time. Probably. He was definitely laughing.
And you know what? You occupied those 10 minutes excellently. It would have been way more awkward or annoying for
everyone to sit
35
there.
of us to be sitting in a family room.
Get their attention.
Yeah, no, it was great, and I was sitting there the whole time trying to upload that video to Google Drive. Very proud of my homie for delivering. So good shit.
Thanks, man. It was funny to go up in front of people that knew me as a child. People that knew me as a child and just go like, yeah, I can't find a woman's clitoris. It's very like,
dude. No, you did that. There were a couple where I was like, dog, my grandma's here.
But she's not my grandma, so I was like, well, to me, she's just some old lady. I would do this in front of an old lady.
Did you like my crowd work feedback with the is that your mom loves that joke, right?
Oh yeah, dude, that got
some good laughs.
I
was like, all right, I have a job.
I have a masturbation joke.
I'm actually Eddie's unofficial manager.
Oh yeah.
Dude, my bar was just like bright red for a second.
We can lower it after, in post production.
I feel like maybe it was my eyes rather than the bar.
Your eyes? Wait, like you're stoned?
No, like I told you, my eyes have been.
He's talking about his audio bar right now. All right, well.
What is this Google?
What's your next one, Brian?
Web link. All right, I have to actually. Oh well, I do remember what it was. It was this. There was this city in Portugal that had a bunch of trucks, or maybe just one huge truck, that was full of red wine explode, and it flooded the streets, and they were literally flowing red wine across the streets.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet.
Not for the wine producer, but for everyone else that
2.2 million liters of wine.
Oh my god, dude!
580 gallons.
What kind of wine are we talking? Are we talking? What is this?
Was it a good wine?
Like sandal.
Oh,
what
dude,
is that? Like pink sandal.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I didn't see this.
It's
oh
a
my
river.
god.
Jesus Christ. This reminds me of my girlfriend when she's on her period.
I hope not. Dude, I mean, I would totally be grabbing a jug. I guess it would be gross running through the streets, right?
Yeah, dude, you're not going to drink
I would drink
this
that. I would fucking drink
from the ground.
I would drink from the top.
No, dude, that's not how liquid works.
Dude,
It's
that
like-
must have been the biggest truck ever.
I can't believe it's still going.
What? And it's like, of course, this happens in like one of these European streets where it's just like a hill that's perfectly down.
Perfect hill. Like the wine doesn't even seem to leave the street.
If this happened in New York, it would just look like it would be brown immediately, and it would just seep into the sewers.
Oh my gosh! And like
someone would be sitting on the subway getting soaked in red wine.
Homeless people would flock to it. Free dirty alcohol.
Homeless people in Bryan would flock to this.
and run over there.
I'm telling you, I'm taking a glass. I would do it just to say
It
I
would be
drank
nice
the street
for a
wine.
story.
Where
It'd
were
be-
you when the street wine?
It'd be a funny Snapchat story, just you with a straw on the street, just like.
Oh, dude, it must have been so annoying to clean up. Imagine you spill a little red wine on the carpet, your mom's gonna murder you. You spill 500,000 gallons on the street, your mom's
on you.
pissed.
Yeah, you pour 2.2 million gallons of wine on the city, and the mayor's like, "Are you? Do you know how hard this is gonna be to get out?"
500,000 gallons.
What?
2.2 million liters. 500,000 gallons.
Okay.
You're the math guy.
I
You
just
can't
saw
be fucking-
2.2. I wasn't. And I can't do a liters to gallon.
I'm sorry. Gallons is right here, and I
Whatever.
said it out loud. Roll the tape. Timmy. Or
Yeah,
what's
Mike.
His name?
His name is Mike. Michael Stand.
Mike.
Michael.
Mike, run that back. Run the clip.
Well, that's a good one.
Oh my
Were there any
gosh.
interesting effects of this?
Portugal has the highest
Investigating
wine
the
consumption.
cause of the breach that sent the wine cascading down the town streets. The distillery also thanked local firefighters, who seem like the wrong people
Who
to
got
address this
fucking
problem.
wasted.
This feels like the opposite of a fire, who were able to control some of the wine and take it to a treatment plant.
Yeah, they
according to
call him the local
reports.
water fighter.
Yeah, like what? You need the town's alcoholics out there to clean the streets, not the firefighters. Maybe if someone lit the wine on fire. That's
I feel like the local homeless should just handle that one, as you mentioned.
totally, yeah.
Seems like
As
a
they
good
will.
call.
Yeah. Although that seemed like a nice little town. I doubt there are many homeless people there, if any.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like there's probably a lot of gypsies.
God, this is what happens when you
So many
don't.
gypsies when I was in Italy.
When you give everyone a home, there's no one to handle the wine flood when it comes.
Have you ever experienced a gypsy? I don't know if this is bad or
Yeah.
like a upsetting concept for people, but
Nah,
they were
it's-
pretty fucking mean.
Of
To
course,
be fair,
dude. Like this is stereotypical throughout Europe.
they all just seemed like they wanted my money.
Like that astute observation.
My aunt, when she came to visit me, she brought out. I feel like every podcast I mention going to Italy, I feel like I'm one of those guys, but I don't talk about it that much. It just comes up when I'm telling stories with you on this podcast. But she brought out her wallet because like a gypsy was showing her a picture of her daughter or some fake story probably. And I literally like put my aunt's wallet away. I was like, no, like don't give her money. And the gypsy started fucking hitting me. She was like, you.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. Like this is. And my aunt was confused, but I was just like, she
She's
does
just
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like they prey upon you in the most fucked up ways. Like they have, like the smallest of children.
I know. They'll
pulling
like
at your pant
they'll
leg.
throw a baby. In
Yeah,
your arms and
baby
then
in your
rob you. Like,
arms.
that shit is
I-
insane.
Yeah, thank God if we live in New York City, so we can just be like, fuck your sympathy. All right, you know how many people on the verge of death I walk by every day on my way to work. This is.
I mean, I definitely do feel bad for some of the homeless here, but I would say like 90% I feel bad. There are some where I'm just like, you're a fucking asshole. Like, what are you doing? Because it's hard to tell because
You have no way of telling.
you don't know what they're going through or what their mental status is,
yeah.
kind of thing. So it is hard to tell. But some are, I'm just,
My understanding is that there's. I don't really. What do I know? I know nothing about this. But I heard one time that that basically there is housing for all of them, and if they're on the street, it's because they don't want to abide by the drug
the
rules
housing
of
is
the
definitely
housing.
ass, though.
Sure.
You're getting robbed and shit.
I would imagine it eclipses New York City sidewalk.
I think it depends on the time of year. In the spring, it's probably
allergy season, dude. No way. You want to be inside. Spring is
not every
number
homeless
one
person
time.
is as much of a pussy to pollen as you are, dude. This man is, he like flees the country during
I literally
allergy
die.
season.
Well, sorry, I like to breathe every month of the year, if I can, as much as I can. As much as I can keep air a part of my life, I'm on board for that.
I hopped a subway turnstile today, but I did it for good reason because I paid my subway fee, realized I forgot something in the office, left, got the thing, came back 7 minutes later, and then there was no one in the booth. So they were basically, I checked for cops because I thought it was like a
sting
setup
operation.
because there are cops sometimes, but there's no one in the booth. So I hopped it, and there were a bunch of people waiting at the emergency exit, and I was kind of waiting there too for a minute. I saw there was no one in the booth, and I kind of felt part of the waiting crew for a little while, and then I saw the no booth, hopped over, and then the waiting crew looked at me. They were like, bro. So I let him on. I felt like I kind of took the whole hit for them, because do they get in trouble for going through the emergency booth as much as I do for hopping it?
I think so. I don't know.
I really felt like I would have had an explanation, because I went up to the booth originally to explain to the guy that I just came here and didn't even ride the subway, but I forgot something and came back, and I feel like he would have let me through, but there was no guy. So if I really got arrested or pandered, whatever, because they can't give you a ticket, I would have been like, look, I just forgot something. I came back. I just hopped because there was no one at the booth.
Yeah. And obviously all these other people also forgot things.
I'm sure.
And they needed to come back in too. They were all just here. We all forgot our stuff on the subway.
Okay, to be fair, I had a tiny little elephant statue that my coworker gave me, as I mentioned.
Is that what you forgot?
That's what I forgot. And I forgot it in I wouldn't have gone back probably, but I was getting my shit ready for the end of the day, and I left it right basically in the middle of the office, sitting kind of near the front door, on something, but just there. And she gets in earlier than me, especially on Wednesday or Thursday when we go back in. And I just would have felt so bad if she gave me something. I told her I was going to bring it home, and then she walks in and it's just sitting there, basically in the middle of the office. I was like, I gotta go back, dude. That would be so mean.
Oh, so you didn't forget something on the subway?
I paid my shit, and I was waiting for the subway, and then I remembered I was going to hold the elephant because it's a wooden statue. And I was just standing there. I was like, you're not holding anything. Where's this fucking elephant? I was like, you left it there. And I would have normally probably just got on and gotten it when, I don't need it today. But I remembered where I left it, the middle of the, on the snack table, basically. Mm-hmm. A rude place to leave something.
Yeah.
So I went back and grabbed it.
Oh, well, that's not a good reason to not pay for the subway.
Well, no, I didn't ride the subway that I just paid for. That was my reason. I'm paying to go home, and I didn't go home. I feel like that's pretty good.
That's,
all right.
I don't know. It's no way to run a city.
If you have somehow
take people's
made
word.
it to the 34th minute mark of this video and you are listening, leave a comment to let us know if you think that what I did was wrong or not. That could be the
Kev, listen to me. He's in the wrong. All right, because if we listened to his rules, the city would be full of people that just took the subway but didn't go anywhere.
Oh, wait. It already is, dude. Do you know how many
exactly? You know how much worse it would be?
Also, I don't actually hop the turnstile. I do one big step, and I feel like it's a little better.
It still costs the taxpayers $2.90. That's why it's $2.90 now, is people, if no one jumped over on the subway, the fares would not have been raised.
No.
Yeah. Or at least not yet. They wouldn't have been raised so soon.
I disagree. I feel like.
What do you mean?
What's the difference? Is ridership
the amount of revenue?
Is the price going up going to lower people getting on?
No,
the subway?
they have to raise the price. It probably won't change the number of people.
Why do they have to raise the price?
Because they have to cover the cost of the subway. The subway costs money to operate. What are you talking about?
It's gonna be the same. It shouldn't cost more this soon.
I don't know.
It's public transportation. It's basically
it's already subsidized a ton by the
subsidized.
government. So all the people that don't ride the subway are helping to pay for our tickets each time we get on, because it comes out of our tax dollars, some subsidization, and then some people.
It's so fucking expensive.
So they have to. It's $275 to travel miles.
Though, but it's just gone up a lot recently. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. Well,
it's a very quick increase.
Again, if no one, it would have been slower if they had the revenue from. I agree with you.
I think
tons
public
of people
transportation
skip it.
should be free.
Also, I've skipped the subway. I don't really care, but I'm just saying logically, if no one did, it would fares would go up slower.
I mean,
of course, because they do it because they're like, oh wow, we're under budget.
But by
this year
that
on the
logic,
subway.
if fares stayed lower, less people would skip it.
What do you mean?
Like, if fares were cheaper, if it was $1, I think less people would be hopping the subway.
I'm sure they do analysis on this where they're like, for every 10-cent increase.
And are you going to pull up the stats? We need to get you
no way is it public.
All right, next story. Subways are free forever.
Subways are free forever. All those people that don't ride the subway should pay for us to jump over. This is actually a very fun one. The title of this one is Coast Guard arrests a man trying to run a giant hamster wheel across the Atlantic.
I actually saw that.
Dude, look at his setup here. Look, I'll put it on the screen for you guys, but it's literally just a hamster wheel. It looks like yoga balls.
Sick, honestly.
Yoga balls and paddles stuck in the side, so as he runs. And the Coast Guard saw this, and they were like, their first question, they see him, he's out in the water. And they go out to him, and they're like, can we see the registration of this vehicle?
Of this wheel?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, I registered it in Florida, but I forgot it. Sorry. For my transatlantic hamster wheel trip, I forgot the registration of my totally existent registration. And then they go, well, all right, well, we can't. You don't really seem to have food in there. We don't think you're going to make it. We have to get you off. And he promptly pulls out a knife and threatens to kill himself.
Oh, nice.
If they try to remove him from this hamster wheel.
Seems like a stable guy.
And them, sitting on the boat, they're like, well, we don't care that much if he's in a hamster wheel. And so they left for the day. They let him continue. And then they go back the next day with food and stuff. And they're like, would you please leave the hamster wheel? And again, he pulls out a second knife. He's got 2 knives on the second day. He's like, I will double kill myself if you pull me from this hamster wheel.
Taking his job
seriously. And this
seriously.
went on for a few days, like where they were going out to this dude in a hamster wheel in the middle of the Atlantic and being like, we'd like for you to not die out here and just come back with us. And he's like, I will die I will make sure I die if you remove me from this hamster wheel.
Just ruin it for me. Does he make it?
But like, they had to bring him food on day 2.
He didn't have food?
Day 2 of his transatlantic hamster wheel trip. He didn't bring a sandwich or nothing. He was like, I'm just going to run it.
He packed and he put 2 knives in the bag and was like, perfect.
He's like, this is all I need.
Great.
Survivor.
I got both my knives.
Survivor, the hamster wheel ocean version.
Was ready to go. He's like, wait, another knife probably.
Another 2 knives. If they don't think I'm serious after knife number 1.
They might not take 1 knife seriously.
Yeah,
I got 2 hands. That's actually awesome. Good for him.
It is awesome. But he did eventually, they talked him in. After days of them.
And then did he get arrested?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Arrested and released on $250,000 bail.
Yeah, it was going to...
Because...
It seems super... Wait, why?
Because this was not his first time doing this stunt.
What's the stunt, though? Was he in, like, unregistered water? Like, what was really illegal? An unregistered boat?
It was an unregistered boat. He was, like, obstructing it. He was just going to die. He was, he was basically a suicide that they were mentioning.
Not to get super back into one of the previous episodes, but pirate law, like, are there laws at sea? Open the sea?
He was, like, a mile offshore. He's still well within United States water.
And what is he doing? He's just on... Like, if I took a fucking floaty raft out there... Would I get the same treatment?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're effectively killing yourself. I mean, your dead body's going to wash on shore somewhere.
So what if I take a floating raft with like a bunch of food and supplies and I'm just chilling in this unregistered raft?
If it's unregistered, no. But like people have rowed across the Atlantic Ocean, but it was registered. They have safety precautions. And basically, they're not going to let you commit suicide by ocean hamster wheel attempt, like the most specific suicide ever. Like they're very clear. And this dude was not his first offense. Before this, he had tried twice to run across the Atlantic Ocean in a homemade hamster ball that he had. Like, you know, those balls you see on like the TikTokers have in the pools.
So what's the difference between a hamster wheel and a hamster ball?
Hamster wheel is literally a wheel. The other one, I think there's photos
just a
here.
ball.
There it is. That's a ball.
Oh.
It's the ball.
All right.
They're very similar contraptions. And again, you can see this. He's brought nothing. He's just in shorts in there. And he's like, So
he's expecting to get caught and fed.
I
guess like a true hamster would in a ball.
But, dude, I kept reading about this guy. And he also, one of the first things he did when he got to America was he's like, oh, I'm going to run across the country. And he did that twice.
He did it?
Yeah, so he's had success. He's not just some crazy guy. But also, you can't run across the Atlantic without food. Like, that's just not...
How long does it take to run across the Atlantic?
I don't have a good number for you. I would more than 5 days, which you won't last without food.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, you could last.
It was weeks, but it was weeks when they took sailboats. This dude's running.
Really fast, though.
Oh, sailboat fast? And he's expending all that energy. Like, the sailboaters are just sitting there. So not really good news, but very interesting news.
Good for the Coast Guard. They got a nice arrest.
The news organizations out there, they cover things like Ukraine, the economy, the presidential election. Meanwhile, heroes are out there trying to hamster wheel their way across the Atlantic. We don't get so much as a glance from the mainstream media.
Nothing, dude.
This guy,
they're not doing it for the heroistic glances.
Reza Baluchi
God bless him.
does not receive the credit he deserves.
I actually, on that note, I have some similar silent heroes, as I would call them. It's actually, this is a pretty big story, so you've maybe heard of it. There are these London car emission cameras that basically every time you like leave the city and come back in, or you go through these checkpoints and your car isn't like an electric vehicle or something, you get fined. Even if you're going to the grocery store and back, and if it picks up your car, you're driving during the day, you get like a day fine, basically.
Wait, for what?
For basically having a car.
Just for driving around?
Yes, just for driving. It's just like a fine for living in London. It's like an intra-city fine.
That's crazy, dude.
Some of them can cost $16 a day.
Just to drive around?
No, you're not going through any tolls. They're just taking pictures of your cameras. So protesters have been fucking mauling these cameras. They are taking them down. Like I didn't find it right away, but I saw a map of like the 500 cameras that were put up. They took down like 450 of them.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. It's kind of fucking ridiculous how many of these cameras they put up. But let's see, London cameras. They call themselves the Blade Runners.
Oh, even sicker, dude.
London's mayor says measures will cover air pollution, which is like 4,000 deaths, blah, 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 blah. The cameras are going to keep coming down, predicted one of these peoples. They are angry. No shit. $16 a daily charge on most gas cars built between 2006 and 2015, included in central London. And it was expanded to the suburbs last year.
Well,
That's crazy.
now that I think about it, I'm a little more on board, because I never thought poor people should be allowed to drive in the first place. And so I think regulations like these could keep the poors off our streets.
No.
Keep our streets rich.
This is crazy. I would be out there with my little ski mask on, tearing down these fucking cameras.
I would be like, we need more expensive fines. Even the type of person that can afford $16 a day, I don't want them on the road. I don't want to see them at my local restaurant. Keep them in their homes.
I don't know, man. I feel like...
Or does that say vandals keep destroying?
Yeah, no, they won't stop.
Vandals keep destroying London's car emission cameras over outrageous daily tolls. That is nuts.
The group is silently disabling hundreds of emissions cameras.
Yeah.
This might have the map I was talking about.
Over there, like, this is getting out of hand, isn't it?
And it's bloody ridiculous.
I'm
Look,
not gonna
this
play
is where all the cameras are. It's crazy.
Oh my
it's
God.
huge.
What a crazy map. Don't close these URLs. You gotta send them all to me so I can cut all
I
this
got
stuff.
you, dog. I won't delete my search history by...
There you go.
Between now
You
and
won't,
later.
thank God. I just didn't know if your mom was going to be looking at your laptop.
600 square miles, dude. And my mom checks my laptop every night. I have to send her my search history.
Well, good on these Londoners for tearing it down.
Dude, they've taken at least 100 of cameras,
split
each
on
costing around $9,000.
$9,000 a camera.
Yeah. Well, you know, they got to be good cameras.
And then they got to produce more cameras. I bet this is going to be a net carbon negative.
You know, I was actually thinking about it. Do you think the
produced.
Vandals win? Like, do you think they just get rid of... Like,
yeah,
they
at
stop?
that rate, where they destroyed 400 of 500 cameras, like... I feel like they already have. You know what I mean? The government's not going to be snappy and reinstating these cameras.
I feel like they might keep making cameras, though.
And they'll just keep getting destroyed. Eventually, it'll become...
But, I mean, if the cameras can clock you $16 a day, there's got to be more money in keeping the cammers up. That camera gets
not
its
if
value.
they're destroyed frequently.
I don't know. I guess,
dude, it's probably how easy is it to destroy these cameras?
Well, they might just start making them like bulletproof, locked. Just impossible.
But even that, you shoot it with a paintball gun. You know what I mean? I think that at those rates, if like 100 have been destroyed, I'd say, all right, this is going to be
death penalty
successful.
to anyone that looks at a camera the wrong way.
That might do it. A death penalty.
If you kill a few cameras,
you kill a few limeys.
We kill you the same way you killed the camera.
There's not a lot you can't accomplish by killing a few limeys. That's for sure.
Couple of limeys.
Couple of limeys.
I think
that's the derogatory term for Englishmen.
We actually already covered that.
We did cover it, but not everyone's going to watch every episode. Our good news segment is going to blow up and be one of our popular ones.
Yeah, one random episode, and you'll be like, "What the fuck are they talking about, limeys? They've never mentioned." Yeah,
we didn't watch the pirate episode.
Idiots should have watched episode 1.
No, what was that?
I mean, episode pirate. We don't have numbers because we're so cool.
Yeah, episode pirate.
So fluid with our.
Nice, dude. Should we do jokes? Wrap this up here.
Yeah, you got them?
Yeah, I got them.
Thank God.
I got some jokes.
This is going to be a much more appropriately lengthed episode.
Yeah, this is good.
I think we should maybe try and cut it down to under an hour.
I think we should shoot for an hour always. But this is fine.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. We just do what goes well.
It's
not like we were stretching to reach an hour before. We just kind of naturally hit an hour.
Naturally.
I think we just don't think about it and stop when it feels appropriate. All right, there's one of these that I want to do, but the other 3 can be random.
No pressure. We should not be stopping talking for this.
No.
I guess we can.
Yes, we can cut this, yeah.
We could. You might cut it.
I might cut it. Dude, it's a lot of work to get through a whole episode, an adult. Well, that's why I'm glad this one's not a whole hour, because I'm going to have to put those news things on the screen, and that takes forever.
Uh-huh. It is tough.
Yeah.
All right, why don't you go first?
All right, I'll go first. A woman in North Carolina is suing Chili's after complaining that her order of buffalo wings was 50% legs.
What?
Because you order buffalo wings, and half of them are drumsticks. That is a leg, dude. That's not a wing. That's false advertising, and I hope she wins her case in North Carolina. That's something that's totally happening.
I hope so as well, dude.
Isn't that ridiculous?
That's a good point. I wasn't thinking about
buffalo
like that.
wings and legs if we were going to be accurate.
They should charge for just the wings, and then you can pay if you want the legs.
Exactly.
Well.
Or like if it says 12 wings, it shouldn't bring me 6 wings and 6 legs.
6 drumsticks.
Yeah. Which let's be real, we all know that those are the legs.
Those are the fat fucking legs. Do not be deceived by the name. Funnel cakes are not nearly as useful as they sound. They will not help you move liquid from one container to another. They are incredibly unreliable. It's a pain in the ass. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, those funnel cakes will get you.
It's ridiculous.
Every once in a while, I'm like, man, I need to fill my tank up with gas from this can.
Nope.
Honey, can you bake a cake for me?
Can you get Uncle Mikolos to
Mikolos? Who is this? A Greek uncle?
Yeah, funnel cake.
Is that Greek?
I think so. Pizza frites and
are those made of
fried dough?
Are those related?
I think that's a Greek food. Fried dough.
I don't know.
Funnel cake is fried dough, right?
Yeah, but so is everything. Like donuts are fried dough.
I'm
like
pretty
fried
sure
dough.
It's a Greek food.
Sure, it could be. I don't know, but I was just surprised. It wasn't like, oh, obviously funnel cake must be Greek. That was good. He made that one through the, what are they called? Through the ring lamp as well. All right, let me say this. Oh, I'm excited about this one. Maryland resident Ezra Will turned 113 years old this year, making him both the oldest man in America and a frontrunner in the upcoming presidential election. Did I stumble over front runner there? I think I did.
No, I think you sounded fine.
No? All right, I'm going to leave it then.
That's pretty funny.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
The oldest dude, because we got 2 80-year-olds are probably going to be the next candidates.
It's pretty sad
that's insane,
The
dude.
ultimatum of our government is 2 really
so
old white guys.
Yeah, 2 people that cannot print to PDF. Like that's... How are you going to run a nation?
I feel like Trump might be able to work a computer.
You think so? I don't think so. I think people have done it for him always.
No, but he's good on Twitter.
If you were like Trump, I need this resume in PDF form. You think you could get that to you? I think no way. Trump gets you a PDF.
I could see if you put Trump and Biden in front of a computer, Trump's figuring it out first.
Okay, but that's like the lowest bar possible. That does in no way indicates Trump is going to be able to do this.
3-year-old.
Trump could not figure it out before Biden dies and just win by default. Like, it's very... I still think he's...
Trump would figure it out, I'm saying.
He has no clue.
He was a businbusinessman forever, dude. Like, he was...
Yeah, but he was like a top-tier businessman.
That's true.
You know? In the time way before PDFs. He was like hole punch times.
I think he could figure it out. I do. And I don't even like the guy. All right, so...
No, you've made your stance on Trump clear. You're pro-Trump and his PDF abilities. It's very...
Clearly. Studies show it takes 10,000 hours to master a new skill. It's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours.
It's a ton. But it means the first thing you have to do is master counting really, really high. How are you gonna know how many hours you mastered?
And how do you master that if you can't even count? You're like, how many hours have I been counting?
I've been playing the drums for...
Oh, God. I have no idea. No. Am I good? Am I bad? It's not.
It's a very good point. All right, this would be for 3 for 3. Unheard of. Oh my God! It rimmed out.
Let's see if I can get one here.
You don't deserve.
Problem is, I have to go lefty because this bar is in the way.
You could go righty from there.
Well, I'm
try it ready. Try it ready.
No, I bumped it already once.
No, go over the bar. Yeah. You mean you don't have to swing so fluid?
But like, I don't have the. I need the space.
It's all fucking.
I need the space.
Your arm shouldn't even be moving.
Dude, I like this because I write all these stupid jokes that are just never gonna work on stage. And now I can come and release them here.
Me read them.
A couple of those were from my first notebook that I wrote, and I was like, they just didn't work on stage.
They never landed?
With 10,000 hours.
Arm I had. Oh, I guess that was a little more arm. To close off the evening, he made it, but he leaned really
went through.
Close.
Isn't this a fun game where we shoot at a hoop that's off screen and tell you whether or not we made it?
Yeah, it went in. And we also just got really hot ladies to tell us we were super attractive off screen, of course. They're behind the camera.
They're over there with Michael Stand, our
Mr.
producer.
Mike. No, not right now.
Yeah.
Super
please,
hot.
Ladies, stay away. Stay up. Make sure you stay out of screen. Our viewers are not interested in hot ladies.
So.
They want.
So
they're here for us.
Come on, guys.
Not for hot ladies.
All right. Well, I think as we approach that hour mark, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, I thought that was a good episode.
Yeah, a lot of good news. Sorry we didn't have any old historic childhood facts for you this week.
We'll be back next week.
We'll probably have some more next week.
We'll just have good news segments every once in a while.
Unless this episode pops to fuck off.
Then it will be a strictly good news segment.
Good news. And we'll change our name. The Moose Good News Lounge.
The Good News Moose.
We are basically slaves to the audience at this point. If you guys, if we got enough making OnlyFans comments, I think
we could make one like tasteful nudes.
If we got like 1,000 comments that said we will subscribe to OnlyFans, I think I'd do it. I'd probably do it.
Well, subscribe, sure. I would subscribe to OnlyFans.
Well, no. If they're like, Brian, if you show hole on your OnlyFans,
show hole. So not even penis. Or I guess there's a hole on your penis, I guess. Just the close-up of your urethra. That's what your OnlyFans is.
I'm assuming
zoomed in on your...
No, thanks. I mean, hey.
That would be a novel.
There's a right price for everything. Yeah.
That's 2,000 comments for a urethra only OnlyFans.
No. It's gonna be that'll have to be like deep in. Like I'm like.
If Kev specifically asks for it, you gotta do it.
Our first fan. He's gonna have to throw me some cash.
Yeah, or he's got to watch more than 2 minutes of one video.
Yeah, Kev.
So
you gotta make it at this point. It's a good thing no one's gonna see this. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
Some people will see the jokes. A few thousand people.
The jokes, but not the OnlyFans plug.
Well, they might. Our fans, a few episodes from now, when they go like, "Oh, let me see some of the OG episodes," they'll come back to listen, and they'll be like,
Comment.
Brian, we need Brian's urethra. We need it now.
Let me make it very clear. I was talking about my butthole.
Well, you said hole. You lots of holes. Could have been your ear hole, your nose hole.
When I'm referring to my hole, that's my butthole.
Oh, okay.
Straight.
That wasn't obvious.
Hole pics implies butthole pics.
No, hole pics implies a variety of pics. If a girl goes,
If
I'm going to send you my
offering
hole, you'd be
whole
like,
pics,
which one?
But I'm not a girl, and I was implying my whole pics.
Okay, but you have the same number of holes.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty obvious which hole I'm referring to.
All right. Well, if you were confused, it's his butthole. That's basically what we're settling on here.
And on that note,
Goodbye.
goodbye.